Hey guys, it's your boy Easy, and on today's episode of Easy's Garage, I'll show you how to remove and install the rear and front wheels of a Royal Enfield Himalayan 450 motorcycle. Okay, so we're going to start with removing the rear wheel, and so get your bike on the center stand. To remove the rear wheel, we're just going to crack this axle nut loose on the right side. That's you're going to need a 24mm socket and a nice big wrench. And on the left, you're going to need a drift, or I'm just using a 1/4-inch socket extension to hold this axle tight while you crack the other side loose. Okay, with this loose, go ahead and take out the nut as well as the washer. Keep them safe. We're going to loosen these axle adjusters on the left as well as on the right. So grab a 6mm hex bit, and then what that will enable us to do is push the wheel forward, which should make the chain loose, and we can then take the chain off the sprocket. Okay, so the chain is off the sprocket. Grab a drift and gently tap the axle from the right side with the drift and a mallet. All right, there'll be a washer as well, so save that. Now we should be able to pull out the wheel from the back. Okay, so I've taken on my wheel. I've put the axle back here so I don't lose anything. There's a nut and a washer here, the axle itself, and there's another washer on this side. Let's move to the wheel now. Okay, so this is the left side of the wheel with the sprocket, and the right side is the one with the brake disc. On either side of the wheel, there'll be a flange spacer. This may or may not fall out when you take out the wheel from the bike. The flange side of the spacer is always facing out. So one on this side, take it out. The sprocket also may or may not just fall out when you take out the wheel, but it'll just come out. So we're gonna keep that aside. There is a spacer at the back of the sprocket holder as well, so let's take that out. And there's a ball bearing here, and on the outside of that ball bearing there's a rubber seal. And this sprocket is held together in these grooves of this rubber thing. I forget what it's called, but that's what holds the sprocket in place. And there's a ball bearing here. On the right side of the bike with the brake disc, again there's the flange spacer. So let me take that out. And there's a rubber seal, and behind the rubber seal there's another ball bearing. Now is a good time to check your bearings. A good way to do that is try to rotate them. There might be some resistance, that's okay. That's because of the existing grease that's in there, but the rotation should be nice and smooth. You shouldn't feel any pitting or any notches or clicks, and there should not be any free play. If any of these conditions are true, it's likely that your ball bearings are worn out and they need immediate replacement. So go ahead and check all your 3 bearings, one on either side of your wheel, as well as the ball bearing in your sprocket. In my case, my bearings are all smooth, so there's no need to replace them yet. If you need to replace them, I'll put the bearing sizes in the description of this video so you can buy new ball bearings of the appropriate size. Now it's also a good idea to clean up the existing grease and gunk and dirt and put fresh grease. So what you do is get yourself a rag or a paper towel and spray some general purpose degreaser, one that's safe on rubber and plastic, and just clean the grease and gunk as much as you can. On the other side there is a rubber seal. So again, using rubber safe degreaser. Get as much of the grease and dirt out as you can. Examine the rubber seal, look for any cracks, and make sure the rubber seal is okay. Also, a good way to tell if your rubber seal needs a replacement is the flange spacer that goes in this rubber seal. It should be a nice tight fit, and it should not just fall out. So in my case, yeah, it's a nice tight fit, and that means my rubber seal is fine. If your spacer just falls out and it's loose, go ahead and replace your rubber seal as well. Also, don't forget to clean your the sprocket holder, rubber seal, and ball bearing. Also, clean your spacers with some brake cleaner or degreaser. Now that you've checked your bearings and your seals and you've cleaned them and everything's okay, and you've replaced them if you needed to, time to pack the inner lip of the rubber seal with some fresh grease. So be generous and coat the inner lip of the rubber seal with some waterproof grease. It's very important because your seals are your first line of defense against dirt getting in and ruining your bearings. Once that's done, put your spacer in and do the same for the other side as well. And now we're ready to put the wheel back into the axle and onto the bike. Okay, to install the rear wheel back, it might be difficult with one person, but it's definitely possible. It'll take you some time. But what I've done is I've placed the wheel kind of in position, obviously with the sprocket and the spacer on either side, on this side as well as on the brake this side. And I've gone ahead and cleaned my axle and my spacers and axle nut with brake cleaner, and I put some fresh grease, waterproof grease on this as well. When you place the wheel here, make sure the wheel doesn't need to be on top of the sprocket, probably not possible yet, but make sure it's on the other side of the spacer in the middle of the sprocket, the spacer there. So when you lift the wheel up slightly and shove the axle in through this hole, it'll go in between the chain. Okay, so I managed to get the help of someone, and with two people it's actually quite easy. One person can lift up the wheel, and the other person can make sure the holes are lined up and push the axle through. You might need a mallet to tap the axle. Don't use a hammer. But with two people it's quite easy. It took us just less than a minute. With one person it may take a much longer time. Now let's put the chain on the sprocket, and to do that, make sure your axle adjusters are loose. So push the wheel as forward as you can. Get the chain on the bottom tip of the sprocket, and then start rotating it. There you go. Okay, with the chain on the sprocket, don't forget to set the correct chain slack, the chain tension on your chain. I've got a video showing how to do that. I'll put a link in the description, so go check that out. And we're done installing the rear wheel. The chain slack video also mentions the torque spec for this axle nut. There'll be a washer here as well. I believe it's 70 Newton meters, but go check that video out for the correct torque spec. Time to remove the front wheel. Before we do that, you're going to need a jack supporting the bash plate, because once the front wheel's off, the weight of the bike will cause it to tip over, and we don't want that to happen. So you're going to need a jack underneath the bash plate. Now, when removing the front wheel, be very careful when taking it off. That's a wheel speed sensor, and it's very close to the speed sensor ring. And so when taking off the wheel, you don't want to damage that sensor. So what I prefer doing is taking out the sensor. It's just held together with one screw. Unfortunately, that sensor is hidden behind this front mudguard. So I'm going to take out the mudguard. It's very simple. You don't need to do all this, but if you don't do this, just be careful when taking out the wheel and putting it back in to not damage that sensor. So I'll show you how to take out this mudguard. It's just held together by 3 fasteners on each side. One here, and the other one is holding it here to the brake caliper bracket. And the same 3 screws on the other side. So 6 fasteners in total, 3 on each side. Let's go ahead and take them off. They're 5mm hex bits. Take out the brake line and the speed sensor wire from the mudguard. There's a little hook here, so take it out. And we should be able to pull out the mudguard from the front. Just like that. And this is the speed sensor. And it's held together, again, I believe, with a 5mm fastener. So go ahead and take that out. And the sensor just pops out. Now on the right side of the wheel, there are these 2 pinch bolts. They're 6mm. This is what grips the axle tight. We don't need to take these out, but just loosen them. Now it's time to crack this wheel axle loose. Royal Enfield provides a nut that will go into this axle, and then you can use a spanner or a socket to take this out. This is under the rear seat. All the Himalayan 450s will have it under the rear seat. So look for this, put it in the axle, then grab your 24mm socket and a nice big breaker bar, and then crack this loose. And once it's fully loose, on the other side, the axle should be completely unthreaded from these threads. And now we can use a drift to tap the axle out from this side. And we can just pull the axle out. And now we should be able to pull the wheel out from the front. There you go. The spacer didn't fall out. There's a spacer here. There's a spacer on the other side as well. So just like the rear wheel, I'm going to take out the spacer, clean them in some brake cleaner. I'm going to clean the gunk off the rubber seal. There's a rubber seal on the other side as well, and the ball bearing. I'm going to use some rubber safe degreaser to wipe this clean. And then I'm just like the rear wheel, I'm going to coat the inner lip of this rubber seal and the inside of the ball bearing with some fresh grease. Oh, and also check your ball bearings to make sure they're all right, just like the rear wheel. Okay, so this has been lubricated, the rubber seal. The spacers have been cleaned. The spacers are same on either side, but one side is flanged, so make sure the flange side, this side, goes into the rubber seal so it's a tighter fit. So you'll have to coax it in. Just put a little grease on the inside of the spacer and the ball bearings as well. You can install the wheel now, and just be careful to get the brake disc in between the brake pads. That might be difficult because the forks are free to rotate individually. So what I'm going to do is actually just going to take out the brake caliper from the fork leg, and then it'll be easy to attach the wheel to the forks and put the axle through, and then it'll be much easier to fit the brake caliper onto the brake disc. They're just 2 14mm fasteners. Good not to let it hang like this, so get a strap, tie it to the crash guard or something. Okay, so I've got my brake caliper tied to the crash guard so it's not hanging and from the brake line. I've positioned the wheel kind of in place. I've got my wheel axle that I've cleaned in brake cleaner and put some fresh grease on it. And now let's try to put the axle through from the right of the bike to the left. Okay, don't jam it in too much. As much as it can go, and now we can start threading it in from the other side. Don't tighten it fully. Okay, so now carefully install your caliper and your brake pads around the brake discs. You can slide it in and we can start threading the holes in. Sorry, start threading the fasteners in. Let's clean this speed sensor with some contact cleaner. I've got some here. And I'm going to clean this area as well, and then I'm going to install the speed sensor. Okay, so I've cleaned the speed sensor. I'm going to fasten it. It's actually 10 Newton meters or 89 inch-pounds. I'm not using a torque wrench for this one because I'm lazy. Make sure that the speed sensor cable, put it back into this little clip here so it doesn't dangle. I'm going to torque these up, the brake caliper bolts that we haven't yet torqued up. So again, grab your 14mm socket and your torque wrench, set it to 45 Newton meters or 33.5 foot-pounds. Okay, now we can torque up the wheel axle that we haven't yet torqued and those two pinch bolts. Before we do that, let's pump the forks a little bit. Okay, grab your torque wrench, set it to 70 Newton meters or 52 foot-pounds, and let's torque this up. Now these two fasteners, pinch bolts, we have to torque it up to 25 Newton meters, about 18.5 foot-pounds, and these are 6mm fasteners. Grab your mud guard and carefully align it with these holes, and let's start putting the bolts in. Grab your torque wrench, set it to 10 Newton meters or 89 inch-pounds, and let's torque up these 6 fasteners, 3 on each side. Torque up the other side as well, same 3 fasteners, same torque. And now let's just clean up these wires, so make sure that the speed sensor wire and the brake line is connected together, and then let's put these in this hook of the mud guard so they don't fly around. And that's how you remove and install your front and rear wheels. Hope you guys liked this video. If you did, hit the like and subscribe button. Until next time, it's your boy Easy signing out. It's time for a beer and a shower.